fella at Darras Hall's got a very unhappy relationship with his wife. In fact, he's convinced that when he's at work, something's going on in the background. So he looks through the yellow pages very carefully, and he finds detective agency. And he finds this number, and he arranges for the gentleman to come round to his office and explain that there was a problem back at the ranch. So he's sitting at his desk one afternoon, the appointment arrives, there's a knock on the door. Come in. The door opens, and there's this little Chinese fella. Bottle-bottom glasses, trilby, spats, umbrella, and a dinner jacket. The sort of person you would pass in the street without a second glance. He says, what do you want? He says, after the detective agency, I come to investigate. Oh, right. He said, well, here's the address. He says, what I'd like you to do is to go to the house and keep to it. Just keep outside and come back, keep a diary, and come back and tell me if anything untoward happens whilst I'm at work. So he disappears. 2 days later, there's a knock on the door. Come in. The door opens. Well, the bottle-bottom glasses are bust, both lenses. The hat's pulled down over his shoulders. There's a rip on his lapel. He's got a chalk on his leg and a pot arm. In fact, it would be truthful to say he was sick of the whole sodding thing. He was fed up. He says, what's happened to you? He says, oh, I go to house to see. I can see. Man come to house, lady come to door. In Negali, I can also see. They close door. Boom. I no see. They go up to bedroom. So, I climb tree. I can see from tree. He take clothes of she take play on he. They lay on bed. He play with she play with he. I play with me and fall out of the tree. The Keelers, it's a bit rude and it's sexist. I'll tell you what, it's sexist and it's racist, and I don't give a And I'm in the sage. Yeah. Right, we're going to have the Keelers. Would you like the Keelers, or should we skip to the one after them? Are you sick of them? They're going to sing a lovely song, which I don't particularly like, and certainly it's not the most popular on the platform, but they're going to sing it for you. Get them back up. The Keelers with the built-in amplifiers. Take it away, boys.
It's the parrot joke. Let me talk to you about it.
So are you enjoying it so far, then? We'll soon put a stop to that. Ed wrote this song he read this book by an American called Barbara Fries, and it was about the history of coal. It's called I Am Coal. Great song. Because the book was quite thick, because he got it down to 50 verses, so I'm only going to do 49 tonight. That's okay with you. But there's a few more. There's lots of words in it, so here you go. 300 million years ago I was born. My father was the sun in carbon times. From the womb of Mother Earth, below a swamp she gave me birth. Lie trapped in the darkness of a stone. I am coal. Legions of the eagle walk Celtic land. It was a long 500 years of time. They carved my bones in Colby jet and hung me round their Roman necks. A gift of love and beauty for a while. I am coal. I am coal. I am coal. Progress and destruction in my soul. The lepidodendron tree died and then gave birth to me. I trade blood for energy. I am coal. When Tudors wore the hollow crown, there I lay. Naked underneath a northern sky, I fed the bitter fires of hate, a thorn between the church and state. Waters of Tyne flow gently by. I am cold. Stream made profit into power, men could dream. I was a revolution's beating heart. I turned children into slaves, never marked their infant graves. Britain was the workshop of the world. I am cold. I am cold. I am cold. Progress and destruction in my soul. The lepidodendron tree died and then gave birth to me. I trade blood for energy. I am cold. I killed by water, gas and fire, deep in hell. My seed was money in the solar bank. I made soap, I made your ale. They say I even saved the whale. That volcano burning in your hearth. I am cold. Lionized and then despised down all my days. Likened to the buboes of the plague. Creative, destructive force. Maybe I'm not yet run my course. Surely I'm the best of British stone. I am cold. I am cold. I am cold. Progress and destruction in my soul. The lepidodendron tree died and then gave birth to me. I trade blood for energy. I am cold. I am cold. I am cold.
Yes, I was born in Leeds in Four Gables nursing home, so Yorkshire by birth, but I like to think of Geordie by choice, and I tried so hard when I got up here to melt into the background and get to know people and take on their interests and their cultures and their traditions, because I've never even been down a pit. No. And one night I can remember vividly, I went into... I used to work at Killingworth, and that night I decided I'd go make friends with some nice friendly people in Backworth. And so I went round to the club, and that's when beer was beer and it was cheap, and I was sitting on my own. There's all these fellas with flat caps and pitted faces, and they're all drinking these two-handed, you know, and I thought, I'll have to break into the conversation. So I looked about, and there was only one person shorter than me, which is not unusual. And I always like to pick on the little uns. And this poor sod, he had a flat head and cauliflower ears. So it's a good job he had canny eyesight, because he could never wear glasses, because they wouldn't fit. And so I tapped this big fella next to me, and I says, hey, look at him. I says, doesn't he look aside? What a prat, fancy having to walk around looking like that. And you know when you finish saying something and straight away you've done the wrong thing? All the glasses started to go down. And the eyes started moving across and everything went quiet. The pigeons stopped going. And I thought, I'm going to be in bother here. And the biggest fella came over to me and he says, you taking the mick out of him? And I said, no, I said, it was just an observation. He says, well, different. He said, he's the hero of this pit village. He said, 14 years ago, we were all down on shift, and there was a pitfall. One of the great big beams that was going across the mine there started to come down. Little Bill stood underneath it, just like the dartboard, stood underneath it, took all the weight on his head. And all the men on our shift got out safely because of him. So don't you dare pick on him. He says, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Very embarrassed about it. Now I'll buy him a drink. This is just one question. I said, why has he got the cauliflower ears? He said, oh, he got them while we were banging him into place with a shovel. Jim Sharp, ladies and gentlemen, comes out of the darkness.
Song inspired by Ed's sister Florence, who wrote a poem about the 84-85 strike. Fantastic period. I'm saying fantastic because of the spirit of the people in the northeast and other coal mining communities, and the way they banded together, not only the men and the miners, but the women as well. It was a fantastic fight. And what's more to be said? We all remember the television and the pictures, horrific pictures. I was far away from home when I heard the strike was on. It lasted so long till the snow turned into snow. Sun turned into rain, back to snow again. These were long hard days when the union strike was on. And we stood there side by side on the picket line with pride, broke and hungry every day and night. Knew our cause was just, unity brings trust. There comes a time when every tribe has the choice to die or fight. And it rained policemen sticks, we had stones, we had sticks, and we held the line for longer than we should. Horses mowed us down, they beat us to the ground. We won't forget the t-shirts and the blood. With the shields in the right year, they wrote violence and fear. Assassins in blue, we knew they were psyched for war. From their sticks and feet, ready to maim and beat, used out pain for gain in the name of the law. And as they marched us back, we walked up the track to the place of work we knew would soon be gone. Held our voices high, gave one last battle cry, for we knew the town would die when the strike was done. And we made policemen sticks, we had stones, we had bricks, and we held the line for longer than we should. Horses mowed us down, they beat us to the ground. We won't forget the t-shirts and the blood. Yes, we won't forget the t-shirts and the blood.
Ed Pickford, not last year, but the year before, this is honestly true. Me and my camper van, another mate with a caravan and a car, decided we'd go to Ireland and we'd try and find if Jim Bainbridge was in and, you know, bum a pint of milk or something. And we thought we'd get up real early and get to the ferry and get to the front of the queue, so that we'd be first on the ship and then in the bar, because then when you get off the other side, you can just go to sleep in the caravan for a couple of days and then carry on. That was the plan. Anyway, when we got there, we weren't front of the queue. We were second and third in the queue. And you cannot believe this, but first in the queue was Andy Seagroat in his camper van, which was not planned. Was not planned. Anyway, we went to all around Ireland, and we ended up at a place called Doolin, which is full of music. You know, that's why we'd gone there to have a sing-song and this, that, and the other. And we went in this pub one night, and, well, in fact, we went in pubs every night, but we went in this particular night, and there was this this large lady who played the Baron, who had a beautiful voice. And I was mesmerised with her. There was a group with her, and she was singing away and playing this Baron, but well. And it got to their interval, and I was besotted with her voice. It was like Barbara Dixon, that sort of voice, but with a slight Irish accent. And I went up to her, and I started talking to her, and I said, you know, you've got a beautiful, beautiful voice. And she said, thank you very much. I'll have a whiskey and everything, you know, it cost me about 28 quid. It's expensive. Anyway, I says, do you have any CDs? She says, oh, you do have CDs. You could have a CD if you want one. So I'll buy a CD, you know, that's another 14 quid. Thank you very much. So she gave me this thing, and it was all in the wrapper and everything, and we finished the night. Next day, we gets in the van and the camper van and the caravan thing, and we're setting off, and I thought, I'll listen to the CD, see the Baron and hear her singing. And I undid the thing and stuck it in the player like that. And it starts to go through the CD. It's all beautiful Irish music. And all of a sudden, I hear this introduction, and I think, you know, that sounds familiar to me. That sounds so familiar. And it's this next song that we're going to finish with. It's a song written by Ed Pickford. Wherever you go, you're bound to find a Geordie. But they were actually singing Ed Pickford's songs in Doolin and recording them. It was a beautiful version. The truth is, I brought it back for Ed, and I hope he's still got it. It's one of many, many versions that go all over the world. And this is one of my favourite versions of this one, which Benny's going to sing for us, accompanied by the orchestra in the far side. And with a bit of luck, if the worms come up on there, you'll all sing it with us, and we'll have a lovely big finish together. Would you do that? Would you make an old man very happy? Because I think he's in here somewhere. Oh, yes, he's there. Eddie McIntyre, there he is. Model for one of the Muppets in the box, you know, in the film. Anyway, over to you, Benny.
This is definitely an anthem of a song to finish the night off with. If you've ever heard of Ed's writing, you've probably come across this song. There's two or three that usually poke their heads up above the parapet, much higher than others, and this is definitely one of them. It mentions the county of Nottinghamshire, which we'll just gloss over quietly. 1985, I was involved with Welfare State, the theatre company, and we were doing a thing in Darlington, and we had 6 huge, 12 feet high papier-mâché puppets of the Tolpuddle martyrs dressed in mining garb with lamps and flat caps. And the mayor of Darlington at that time was an Italian, and he had an ice cream parlour. And he got up on the stage in the midst of all of this, and Cole Not Dole posters all the way along the front of the stage, and said, it's really nice to see everybody out in the sunshine enjoying themselves and no sign of any politics. We were terrified about the end of the coal mining era coming to a halt with cheap energy from oil and gas and all the rest of it. Who'd have thought that the bloody British government would have finished it off for us? There you go. This is the last song. Please join in the chorus with Might and Main as we sing here Eddie Pickford's Farewell, Johnny Miner. Johnny Miner, you were born never to see the rise and dawn. Now it's time that you were gone. Farewell, Johnny Miner. Farewell, Durham. Yorkshire to Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say you. Farewell, Johnny mine. You battled with the sliding scale, blackened lungs and faces pale. Now your body's up for sale. Farewell, Johnny mine. Farewell, Durham, Yorkshire to Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say you. Farewell, Johnny mine. They promised you the earth sometimes to get coal from their stinking mines. Now the justice for their crimes is farewell, Johnny mine. Farewell, Durham, Yorkshire to Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny mine. Farewell, John, don't take it hard. Unemployment isn't bad. They'll treat you well in the knacker's yard. Farewell, Johnny mine. Farewell, Durham, Yorkshire to Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny mine. Farewell, Durham, Yorkshire to Nottingham, the same to you. Scotland, South Wales, say adieu. Farewell, Johnny mine. Farewell, Johnny mine.
That invisible thread that had all those songs on is just touching the top of the water. It is still writing like there's no tomorrow. It turns up the first Tuesday of every month at our little sing-around. I've got this one, I've got that one, I've done another one, I've done this. He's prolific with his writing. If you'd like to take a book, which is out the back there, I'm sure Ed will be round there in a minute or two to sign them for you, give him writer's cramp. Take the books away with you as a little souvenir of tonight. And the best part of the souvenir would be to actually see the fella, and funnily enough, you're just about to. Would you give him a warmest of welcomes? Ladies and gentlemen, Ed Pickford.
Well, that doesn't often happen to many people from Shiny Row. Thanks very, very much. And I don't know where to begin to thank you. And I want to do it quickly because I know set the hounds of the Baskervilles on people to get them out of the stage. So first of all, I'd like to start probably with Catherine Tickell. And then about a fortnight later, I would... anyway, no, I would... No, seriously, that's all wrong. That lowers the tone of the evening, but it's pretty typical of me. I'd like to thank Catherine, whose idea it was to put all these concerts together. And then secondly, to my friends who I call the, whatever pub we happen to be singing in that Tuesday, on tour. It used to be the Collingwood in Jesmond, the Collingwood on tour. And especially the guy with the accordion, Johnny, who was one of the first people I ever saw in Newcastle who exposed me to this kind of music. And otherwise, you know, I mean, I might have not really trod this road of decadence that I've trod for this last 50 years. But all of us really have one group to applaud, because we all go all over the place, and without you in the audience, I sound like Nick Clegg here, without you... I want to show you a different kind of politics. One when I get the car and stuff like that, and you get bugger all. Anyway, we would all like, the group and myself, we would like to applaud you, because you have been pretty fantastic. So would you like to stand and applaud the audience? I was with one group where one night we got all the audience up on stage and we sat down there, which is, I don't think that's possible here, but it would be lovely if it could be. Anyway, we're going to reprise that last song, Abel's song, and I hope you'll drown me out when I start singing it, by Benny, Farewell Johnny Minor, and we'll see you all out front as quickly as we can. Okay, lads? And farewell, John, don't take it hard. Unemployment isn't bad. They'll treat you well in the knacker's yard. Farewell, Johnny Minor. Farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too. Same to you, Scotland, South Wales, bid adieu. Farewell, Johnny Minor. Farewell, Durham, Yorkshire too, Nottingham, the same to you.